Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus NXT. This, of course, is from November 2nd, 2021. How was it as a show? For the standards of NXT 2.0, I guess it was pretty good. The bar successfully lowered. Congratulations, NXT. We've got Wade Barrett, Beth Phoenix, who have really been the unsung heroes in this NXT 2.0. You need something reliable, and they are as reliable as the sunrise. Really great stuff. I was thinking about how they've lost their emotional center with no more, right, William Regal and no Samoa Joe, who I guess is still injured, cough, cough, whatever. And again, it just feels like people have been hoodwinked with this show, but Wade Barrett and Beth Phoenix, all the credit in the world, really done a good job of sort of becoming the emotional center of the show. It's a tough position to be in, but they've handled it so well. I really do love their commentary as they're doing their best to put over all the little stories. I also get the feeling that they don't have anybody in their ear shouting at them constantly because they really do have a nice chemistry. If somebody had said Beth Phoenix was going to be a really good commentator years ago, I'm not so sure I would have believed it, but I certainly do believe it now. And Wade Barrett really has found his stride with this. It's just really great. And I know I'm going on and on and on about it, but without them, I think NXT is in trouble. I'll just be honest. But we start the show. Here comes Mandy Rose, the new NXT Women's Champion, with Toxic Attraction. Fans are chanting her name, so, her as a heel. It's not taking, but that's WWE par for the course on any of their shows, right? Here comes Rose goes to call out Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jayne, the NXT Women's Tag Champions, and her compadres in Toxic Attraction. But we cut to the locker room. They have just attacked Zoe Stark, and the officials are tending to Stark as Dolan and Jayne walk away. Nobody in NXT who can stop us. But here comes Shirai to a pop. She saw what Toxic Attraction did. She doesn't like Zoe, but she dislikes Toxic Attraction even more. Why would Shirai not be checking on her tag partner? Fuck, I hate this show now. I really do. It's completely without bounds, and this whole thing of everybody just attacks everybody, and we're gonna be the show that has a little more law and order on. All that's been abandoned. It is what it is. I mean, whatever, right? They don't seem to really care, which does not inspire me to care. I'll tell you that much right now. Shirai wants, of course, Rose right then, there, now. But drops Shirai with a cheap shot. Rose beats Shirai around, sending her to the floor, face first on the announce table on the ring post. They're chanting, the crowd's chanting for Shirai, but Rose sends her to the edge of the apron. This is NXT 2.0, and Shirai will never look like her. But Shirai snaps and takes Rose down and unloads on her. Hits a big German suplex, double knees in the corner. Dolan and Jayne hit the ring, of course. And then they all seem like they're going to beat her down, but Casey Catanzaro joins in, and Kaden Carter. So they clear the ring of Toxic Attraction, and an obvious 6-woman match is made for some future time. We hear from Tommaso Ciampa, and we're going to hear from Imperium. And North American champion Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are going to face Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano in the main event. Toxic Attraction is walking backstage when they stop at Dakota Kai, who's standing there with her back turned. Kai says she didn't interfere at Halloween Havoc to help Mandy Rose. She did it to end Raquel Gonzalez. Okay. Dakota Kai against Cora Jade. Dakota Kai wins here in a pretty good match. But again, NXT, which had done a good job of being like, we're going to get right into a match, now they're doing shenanigans to open. So that first match just doesn't have the same impact. But it's a perfectly serviceable match. Dakota Kai wins. Then we get some shenanigans with laying the table on Jade, who's flattening her back at ringside, and it's going to jump down on the table in Jade, but has second thoughts. And then Nakai just grabs Jade's skateboard and places it on her stomach. We see recent tweets. Tweets is how we're doing this. Hyping Legado del Fantasma against Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly match. We see how Zion Quinn chokeslammed Robert Stone through a table at the Halloween party last week. And we see how Stone posted a Twitter video to call Quinn out of tonight's show. So do you understand yet? We're using Twitter to promote stuff, guys. Back from the break, we get a vignette with MSK downtown in Orlando. I'll say that they are trying on this NXT. They're having a lot of vignettes, a lot of interviews and stuff like that. I'm gonna highlight my favorite one from the show later on when it comes up. Some comedy. So a bus stops in front of them. We can't hear who they're talking about. Wesley jumps on Nash Carter's back, and they want to hear what MSK stands for. Zion Quinn against Robert Stone. He's going to outswing Quinn, and then he's going to beat him and stomp him and all that stuff. But no, Zion Quinn wins. Of course, Zion Quinn wins with a jackhammer for the squash win. We get a backstage vignette from Joe Gacy. Gacy does his usual stuff, but then talks about how Harland is a monster based on appearance, but they just alienate him. They don't give him a chance. He and Harland are going to change the world together. We see Legado del Fantasma's Electra Lopez, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza walking backstage, but they stop at Zion Quinn. Says they didn't know Quinn had that side to him. He has multiple sides, says Quinn. Okay. Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza against Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly really being the motorcycle in a moped gang on this show in a lot of ways. Just exceptional ring work, facial expression, selling, and all the rest of it. At the end of the day, Wilde rolls up Wagner for the win. Kyle and Von Wagner are looking disappointed. Uh-oh. Mackenzie Mitchell's backstage with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, who do their usual stuff. They talk about the haunted house. Duke's poker room in a vignette. It's basically coming down to him and Grimes and what's going to happen later. Andre Chase is cutting a promo. Open challenge. Here comes Braun Breaker to a pop. This was the right match, the right thing to do with Braun Breaker after losing that match last week for the NXT title. Braun Breaker wins and then cuts a really good promo about how he wants a rematch. It's really good. Braun Breaker, they've decided to push him and they've decided for him to stand out, and they're handling him incredibly well. That is the one shining diamond on the show for sure. We got Imperium now. They're cutting a promo. Out comes Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, and Marcel has a great line. The mat is sacred, which is their catchphrase, but America has its benefits. Putting over how gorgeous Gigi Dolan and JC Jane are. Lash Legend is backstage. A lot of people crap on these lashing out things. I don't mind them. I think it's really cool that they're letting her kind of pursue this thing. I think it's really cool, honestly. She has Tony D'Angelo, who does his best thing to date. I'll say this. They bring out my friend Ryan, who's really great in this segment as the producer who's been beat up and sort of threatened by Tony. It's silly, it's stupid, but where else are you going to go with that gimmick? I think it's the right move. Zoe Stark apparently has been taken to a local medical facility. Dun, dun, dun. Solo Sikoa against Jeet Rana. The long and short of it is Solo Sikoa wins with the Superfly Splash. Again, I will say that this is the best NXT show that they've had, but that doesn't mean that it's good. Yeah. Um, I and then we're gonna get to the main event in just a moment. Um, so the main event happens. The commentators do the great job of putting over the fact that this is family, right? With Gargano, with Dexter Loomis, the father son vibe. So they're trying to keep something over, right? They're trying to keep something over from the old quote unquote NXT. All right. Um, and again, is any of this work as a draw? No, I think NXT in its weird way, NXT 2.0 has become the pure thing that the WWE has kind of implied they've always wanted, where it's about the brand and not the stars. I'm talking about this main event because I really want to talk about my favorite interview segment that they had. Um, we also had Boa against Grayson Waller. Boa gets the win. It is what it is. Um, Ciampa talks, at the end though, it's Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams getting the win, thanks to, of course, distraction, etc., etc., etc. I really liked Brooks and Jensen promo. I thought it was really great. I thought it really got things across really well, and I hope they do more stuff. Now, ideally, there would have been stuff like this happening before these guys ever showed up, but because they threw NXT 2.0 in the deep end of the pool and like, this is the show now, and we're gonna have all these new people, and it's what they've continued to do. Now they're doing development on the back end, and I will say better late than never. I find the show very fascinating. I don't know how watchable it is. And going against the last game of the World Series, of course, ratings are going to be through the toilet. But, um, I guess you just have to accept this show for what it is, which is a show that's going to show minimal signs of growth. Though there are indications, who knows, maybe Braun Breaker can move the needle.